guys, today we are making our Q&A. I've been asked since I started this channel and on Instagram to do a Q&A with Kyle, and we decided this is a great time because we are about to celebrate our, I feel like we need a drum roll.
7-year anniversary.
Our 7-year anniversary. So really excited that we have been married 7 years. That just flew by.
Doesn't feel like 7 years, does it?
No, not at all. It's like, I'm glad because the longer I'm with you, it's just exciting. But I also am just like, I feel like we were just like planning our wedding yesterday. So we figured it's a great time to do a Q&A to answer some difficult questions, but also some just fun questions so you guys can get to know us a little bit better. And we can just reminisce a little bit since we've been married 7 years. So I have some questions. You guys asked me questions on Instagram as well as YouTube. I just thought of some fun questions to go through as well. So we'll have a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first question we have is, where and when did we meet?
Well, that would have been, we met at a homeschool event.
Yeah, he's right. We met at mutual family friends late Memorial. Which one's to this weekend?
Memorial Day cookout.
Memorial Day cookout party. There's a bunch of families there, and we met there. And were we 16?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so we were 16, and
so it's also the anniversary of when we met.
Yeah, so that was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted us to get married in May, because it's just special because that's when we met. And we were going because, like he said, it was a homeschool family. We were both homeschooled, but we were both in like pretty active homeschool groups. So a lot of times people think of homeschooling as literally like you're at home doing school. The homeschool group that I was in was about to like, it was getting really small and it was far away. And I was very social. And my mom was like, we need to find something else that you can get involved in. And this mutual friend was like, oh, we're having a cookout. You guys should come. A lot of the homeschool families will be there. And that's where you were.
That's right.
And it's funny because when we left, well, I should answer this next question first. Was it love at first sight? There was definitely attraction at first sight for me.
Not love, though?
Well, I mean, like, we were 16. I think that, I mean, I liked you a lot. Like, I liked you right away. My heart fluttered. There was a lot of people there, and I remember Kyle. I promise.
That's not revisionist history?
No, I promise, because this is what I was about to say. Okay, so let me finish that part. When we were there, I remember this cute curly-haired, he had like long curly hair, and I felt like you were like a skater boy. You had like long, were you wearing those like plaid shorts?
Probably. And
then you were wearing, I want to say you were wearing that like Joker t-shirt. But I could be wrong on that. But you were wearing a t-shirt and you were wearing Converse, because I remember saying I liked your Converse.
Yeah. And
then, see, this is a lot of talking. You're acting like, it wasn't even like, oh, I just saw him from a distance. Like, we came together and we started talking.
Oh, we did.
And I remember we talked about Plato's Closet.
Uh-huh.
And I remember really liking you and thinking you were so stinking cute. What was your first impression of me, if you even had one?
Well, I remember going and talking to you because I saw you and was very attracted to you, and it was love at first sight.
Okay, so why are you saying mine wasn't?
I just don't know. I don't know if you...
It 100% was. It was.
Was it?
Because, oh, but that's sweet. Are you sure that you actually felt that way?
Oh, I'm sure.
So, I just want to kiss you. So, this is why I know too, because the homeschool group that Kyle was in had like thousands of people in it, and it had a very big school that you would go to. It was literally like a mini school. And I remember coming home and my mom was gardening, and I was still thinking about you. And my mom was like, so what'd you think? And I was like, I want to join. And that was the only reason that I was like, I met, his sister became one of my best friends in high school too. I remember I loved getting to know her right away. And then you, the very, very cute boy with the long curly hair named Kyle. And I never forgot your name or anything like that. I always knew it was you. Like, I did. And so she's like, so you want to join? I was like, yeah, they were saying it's really fun. They like, other than the school, they go to like movies a lot and they go bowling and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, more times to hang out with this guy. Seriously. We would sign up for the events and I would always check to see if your name was on them.
Yeah, I would do that.
You would?
Yeah.
So when I first went to school, I took Latin and speech and health and a couple other classes there. You took primarily all of your classes there, right?
No, not all of
Not
them,
all of them.
But a good handful.
I just felt like you were there like all day.
It was more of the classes than you
than what I did, yeah. Because I was pretty much done with what I needed to have, and there was just a few things, and it was more like, well, what classes can I take? Like, I was already taking Latin at home, but they offered Latin there, so I was like, well, I want to do Latin there. And so I remember I wanted to look really cute, and the first time I saw you, like, you were there the first day that, I mean, it was the first day of classes, and I showed up, and we talked the first day, didn't we?
I think so.
I remember just thinking you were so cute. And then, how long after that did it start for you to message me? You didn't get a Facebook for a while. That's right.
It was at Christmas.
Yeah, so I remember looking him up on Facebook. No Facebook. And I was bummed about that. But all the events and, like, we were together multiple times a week after that. Forever, actually, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because we would, other than the homeschool things, we started getting like a group of friends together and we would hang out a lot, like 5 friends, 3 friends, and it was always, like, we always found each other and hung out together, didn't we? Mm-hmm. There's so much more I could go into that, but maybe we'll save that for another Q&A, because I could just talk about that forever. It's fun to relive, isn't it? But yeah, so that is where we met, how old we were when we met, and if it was love at first sight, which we both say, yes, it was. Tell us a fun date story. So I automatically think of one. What do you think of?
You're probably thinking of going to see the shooting stars, right?
The ones where the cops chased us. That one? You should start it.
Well, it was a little bit of a tradition that we would, like, during the summer months when the shooting stars would be visible, we would try and watch them from like a park or a backyard or whatever. And
it was perfect because you can look at the stars. It's so romantic,
and I think that particular year was very cloudy, and so I had asked her if, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly she wanted to see the shooting stars, and
I was like,
she said 10
because
so
I wanted to hang out with him.
I assumed that meant at all costs, and so we ended up
and I didn't even know at that point that it was supposed to be cloudy that evening. So when he just said 1 to 10, I'm like, well, 10, I want to hang out with you, I want to see the shooting stars.
Right, and so we ended up driving. I looked at the radar for the weather and saw that, well, it's not cloudy.
But you didn't tell me.
That's true. In Illinois, and so we ended up driving all the way to Illinois to try and see the shooting stars.
So yeah, he picked me up, and I'm like, what are we doing? And I was like, where are we going? And you kept saying, you'll see, you'll see. And like, time goes by, and all of a sudden I'm seeing the Indiana border. And I'm like,
kidnapped you.
I'm like, where are we going? You're like, we'll see, we'll see. And then finally I figured out, I was like, oh, we're going to see the shooting stars, like, someplace visible because it is cloudy. Yeah. So it took, I mean, what, how long do you think we drove? Like, this was a long time ago. It took
it was like probably 2 hours.
I think it was at least 2.5. Because we were out, well, yeah. So it's late, and we're in Illinois at this point, and it was hard to find a spot, like, because we didn't really know, and we're trying to find like parks and stuff, but they all had trees around, and so we found like a cornfield and kind of like parked beside it, and I got kind of creeped out because a car pulled up behind our car, and they just sat there, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, I feel really like sketched out about this, and it was like super romantic, and we're enjoying the shooting stars.
So we ended up leaving there. And when we were driving away, we saw like a cop car like going the other direction. We were kind of laughing like, oh, huh, wouldn't that have been funny if it was for us? And then we saw...
Is that like 1:30 a.m. at this point?
Yeah, and then we saw another cop car. Wow, I wonder where they were going in such a hurry. And so then we ended up finding another place.
Well, we're on these like winding roads before that, I think, right?
I think so.
Yes, we were on these winding roads, and you don't get good cell reception there.
That's right.
And then you finally got cell reception. Do you remember?
Yeah, and then my dad called because...
This is at 2 a.m. at this point.
And he said...
I'm pretty sure it was a weekday, so like your dad had to work the next day because it was Sunday night.
Was it Sunday?
Yeah, because I remember when you asked me if I wanted to look at the stars, we were at church.
That's right.
You came with me to church.
So it was on a Sunday. And
so your dad calls.
And he called because apparently the sheriff had called him because the license plate of the vehicle we were in was registered to him, and the reason the sheriff had called was, I guess, the night before at a random fair in that little town we were in.
Such a tiny town.
The sheriff's wife had been followed home by someone in a car that was white, and my car was white. No, it was just like...
Oh, I always thought it was like the same make and model or whatever.
No, it was just like a white car. And so they didn't get the license plate of the creep that had followed the sheriff's wife home, but...
And we were a parked car.
They just saw a white car in, like, that they didn't recognize, and so then they called the cops on us.
Yeah.
So we left and dodged the cops.
The cops actually were chasing us.
Yeah, but...
And we just didn't know it.
That's right.
And... his dad gave us the number. Thankfully, your dad was so gracious and wasn't like calling to yell at us for getting him woken up by the cops at 2 in the morning and finding out that we were in Illinois.
He was just glad I wasn't dead.
Right. He was just glad we weren't in trouble and we were okay. So he gave us the sheriff's number, and Kyle called the sheriff and explained everything. And they were like, oh, you're fine. Have fun, you know,
Yeah,
but it was just hysterical. Like, we were laughing so hard about it because we really were like, ha, what if those cops were coming for us? And, you know, then they actually were. So I'm kind of glad that they couldn't find us and we had left, because I feel like that could have been even scarier. But needless to say, I was like, let's get out of this town. And we went to another town and we watched stars for the rest of the night, and it was
uneventful.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was a wonderful memory and a really funny story. Okay, so these will be a little quicker. Who said I love you first? So we have some more questions, but I think we're gonna go ahead and make this a 2-part. So thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in to the next video to see our answers for more questions.